Hello everyone and welcome to Real Talk with Odun. My name is still Odun Akirele and we are so excited to be coming your way this afternoon. The topic for discussion today is money management. What is money management? Obviously that's a term that is used in the business world. It's a term that is used for finance people and all that. But like I told you myself and my guest of last week that the aim of this show is to help homes, is to help families, is to help women generally. And one of the recurrent issues that I know that comes up in marriage is the issue of money. And so today, the money management we'll be talking about is in relation to the home, in relation to the family. What is money management? As usual, you know, I told you last week, I use Google. So I went to Google to find out the meaning of money management. And what I found out is that money management is the process of expense tracking, investing, budgeting, banking, and a lot of things. But what we are going to focus today is not this meaning of money management. Like I said, it's going to be how do you manage your money? How do you manage your finance as a family? Do you budget a certain amount every month as a couple? Do you pay your tithe together or you pay it individually? Do you as a woman just go out and see a top that you like and you dip your hand into the joint account or the family accounts to buy it without permission or with permission? You know, this and more is what we'll be talking about today on today's episode. And to do this with me as usual, I have a guest studio. She's my very good friend. She's a mother of 3. She's married. Her name is Yetunde Akoni. And like I said, she has 3 lovely kids. She also has a bachelor's degree in accounting and finance from ACU, which is Abilene Christian University. And she has her MBA in accounting from University of Dallas. She has over 7 years of experience in financial analysis with multiple Fortune 500 companies. She might look small, but she's small and mighty when it comes to the financial world. Yetunde is also an entrepreneur. She's the CEO of Conceptual Designs, a company that specializes in creative concept designs and decorations. She takes joy in empowering others to live a purpose-driven life in all aspects of human existence. Welcome to the show here today.
Oh, thank you, Ojo. Thanks for having me.
Yes, exactly.
And also I just want to congratulate you on this new venture, and I'm so happy that you invited me to be part of it.
Thank you. Thank you so much. All right, my other guest is a virtual guest, as you know we do on this show. Her name is Dolapo Ibifajolu. Did I pronounce that right? I hope I got that right, Dolapo. Anyway, her name is Dolapo Ibifajolu. I call her Dolly P. Most people call her Dolly P. Most people call her Dolly P. She's a dynamic professional with abundance of initiative and drive with over 15 years solid experience in property and facility management. She's also experienced in business development, interior design, and branding. She is a highly persuasive and influential person with excellent communication and interpersonal skills. She is creative and she is an innovative thinker with a commercial attitude to work, with a proven track record of success. She has a lot of things for me here, but I'm just going to skip on some of them and, just touch on a few of them. She resigned from her banking job after 9 years to pursue her own entrepreneurial dream of owning a design company. Funny enough, can you see they are both into design? I didn't even piece that together. They are both into interior decorations and designs and all that. Dalapo also runs a consulting business alongside her husband, where they help small businesses articulate their strategy and develop workable business plans and processes. She's happily married with 2 kids, and she's a lover of tea. Not the tea that is gist, the tea that you drink. So she likes taking a lot of tea. Welcome to the show, Dalapo.
Thank you so much, Odun. It's a pleasure joining you on this show. And also a big pleasure meeting you today as well. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, so like I said, money management. I'm going to come to you first, Dalapo. What is your own definition of money management when it comes to the family?
Like you said initially, money management is a very wide topic. But when we look at it in terms of the family, it is the way in which a family manages resources and the way they are able to allocate resources to different phases of their life. Like as a young family, you want to, okay, how do you pay your rent? How do you move from one point to the other? You're looking at the future of your children. You're looking at feeding, looking good, and then every other area of your life. You're also looking at investing for the future. So money management in the family describes the way you allocate your resources. Because definitely we know that human wants is unlimited. As you are dealing with one, another one is coming up. As you are growing in age, as you are growing your business ideas, you're seeing that your needs keep increasing. So in the family, it is the way you allocate your resources. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dalapo. So I'm going to come back to you today. What is your own definition of money management?
Well, as we all said, as Dalapo also said, money management is a very broad topic. But in regards to bringing it home to the family, money management is basically just allocating resources, maybe towards, checkings or joint accounts, whatever you seem fit for your family, and also trying to allocate that for the future purposes and in form of investing.
Thank you so much. You just mentioned something about joint account, which is the first thing I think we need to talk about. Joint account. What is joint account? Is it a must for every family to have a joint account?
Well, in my case, I would say joint account. I believe that a family should have joint accounts, but the question should be, what is the intention of having a joint account? Okay. Are we having a joint account because we want to keep a savings, or we're having a joint account for checking, or we're having a joint account towards the kids' investments in the future? So whenever you as a couple come together, you need to make sure you communicate and define the purpose for that joint account. Then you can then embark on it. So nowadays the word joint accounts is just thrown everywhere. So it depends on your family. Is whatever it works for your family. If it works for your family, you can have a joint account. If not, then you have to find a way at which resources can be allocated without being any cause of interferences.
Okay, Dalapo, coming back to you, joint account. What do you think? Is it a must for every family to have a joint account?
Like yesterday said, the issue of joint accounts has just been so bastardized. Everybody talks about it. In my personal opinion, if I have access to my husband's account, I don't think we need to and sign the checks together. I do not have a joint account with my husband, but I have access to his account. I have his PIN. I can ATM. I have access to his mobile banking app. So we do not have a specific account saying this is the joint account. So if you want to save, we have a particular account in one of the spouse's name where we put money, and we are saving towards our rent. We can put money in a particular account, and we know this money we pay there for rent. But we do not have a joint account. Even when I was in the bank, I wanted to open one, but I looked at it, it was just, I don't know. It felt, I didn't really sit down well with me. Like, okay, so I want to sign the check now. And then I'm waiting for somebody to come and countersign. Then you say, what to sign? Just look ambiguous to me. Felt ambiguous, so I didn't even bother about it. Because I can take his money if I want. Even though most of the time he doesn't get to take mine. So, I think that's what I see.
Okay, like yesterday said something. She said whatever works for your family. She said if that has been working for you, then yes. But I know some women are so scared of the joint account thing, because there are lots of stories out there that I have read, that I have seen, that I have heard, that it's scary to people, it's scary to women, especially when you are earning more. Especially when you are the one earning more, it gives you a pause before you can just say, okay, let me give you access, or with both have access. I can take money anyhow, you can take money anyhow. Especially in a society where we come from, where the man is like the head of everything, that he can take out whenever he wants. And then the woman feels, I can't just dip in and just take anyhow. Like I said at the time, And like Dolapo rightly said that she felt it was ambiguous for her to want to buy something and be waiting for someone to sign off on it before she can buy that thing. So have you experienced that before, like wanting to buy something and needed your spouse to sign off it?
Well, when I say joint accounts, it doesn't exclude you having your personal account.
Okay.
So joint accounts, basically you're using it towards saving. Maybe you're saving for the family, you have a goal. Then you're saving money towards that, or probably for the bills, because there are sometimes some family can be like, okay, maybe I'm going to pay half of the bill, or you pay half of the bill, or we all pay together. So then we can chip in. So we can have a joint account towards that purpose, or you can have a joint account towards the kids' future. But that excludes you having a personal account. I believe it doesn't stop you. It doesn't stop you. So I believe there should be joint and also personal accounts, because there are some needs that we have to meet
as women,
like upkeep. I need to do pedicure, I need to do manicure, I even apart from that, I need to surprise my husband. Will I then go ask for permission for money to be able to surprise him? I think every woman should still have something that they have on their own
that can fall back
they can fall back onto. Yes.
Okay. Thank you so much, Yetunde. That clarifies a lot, because I remember having that issue with my own husband, and he was angry. He wanted us to have a joint account, and that is all. And I cannot see myself wanting to buy, like just going out and seeing something I want to buy.
Impulse.
And it's impulse buying, and I need to now call you and ask him, okay, permission to buy. So I'm like, okay, having a joint account is no issue. We can do that, but can I still keep a separate account? He got angry. He said no. Is it that a joint account or nothing? Yeah, he doesn't believe in you keeping your own separate account. So you saying that now makes me think that, okay, maybe I wasn't stupid then, because I was thinking I was stupid.
No one is stupid.
So Delapa, I'm going to come back to you. Who handles the family purse? Does it really matter?
No, it doesn't really matter. The one who is most prudent to handle it. We have different money personalities.
Yeah.
And the way we react, or the way we approach money issues are actually very different. So for every family, you need to identify your money personality. There are people that are amassers. They just want to gather money and gather money and gather money. And then there are people that are spenders. They just want to spend and spend and spend. And then we have people who are savers. They want to keep saving. Amassing money and saving, they are two different things.
Yeah.
You are saving towards something, but people who amass money, they just want to gather and gather. So if you understand your money personality, then you'll be able to say, okay, this is the person that will handle this money. For instance, let me get personal with you. I started making money very early in my life, but I was a spender. I'm not the kind that has money in my hands and I need something. I will just damn the consequences and go after what I want. And the thought is, tomorrow will take care of itself. My mom used to tell me that when I was small, when this stuff comes to her house and they give everybody money, every one of them will go and keep their own. Me, I can go and take my own and buy sugar just because they gave me 2 pieces of sugar and it's not enough for me. I just say, if I have money, I just go and take it and I'll buy sugar. So, that was the way I was. I was just so carefree. If you see somebody that needs something, I have money. I just give it to me. When I was in the university, my colleagues would tell me that they go into my house and they take money, and I don't even know they're taking my money.
Wow.
I was like, that was money. So going into marriage, I knew that if I had to save, it has to be somebody that has more money sense than I do. So, and that's the kind of person I marry. My husband is very meticulous with money. So I'm very annoying sometimes. But he will tell you, no, chill. You want to buy this thing, you want to buy it right now. Wait till tomorrow. Do you still need it tomorrow?
Yeah.
You understand? So most of the time when I want to do my impulse buying, I don't think so. I just go ahead and do that.
And buy.
So I believe strongly that the person who should handle the family finances is the one who is most prudent.
All right, welcome back to the show. Before we went on that short break, we were talking about who should manage the family purse. And I like making reference to where I come from, because most of us, that's where we come from. We are Africans. The men get to take the bulk of the home responsibility. They get to be the one that decides what goes on. And if, for instance, the man, in fact, most times they insist that they should be the one that takes care of the family purse, even though they might spend that. So I've seen cases like that they are not. I remember my pastor back home in Nigeria would tell you that if you know as a man that you are not a prudent spender, and you still insist on being in charge of the family purse, you're a wicked man. But a typical African man would not want to give you that kind of a power. So I'm directing that to you today. I cannot even direct it to you today. Is an American, is an African American. Let me Nigeria. Because you practically grew up here, and you married someone that practically grew up here as well. So
well, we did our university here, so that's about it, and our masters. But I grew up in Nigeria. I did my primary school and secondary school, so I can understand both. I'm exposed to both worlds. So.
Okay, so you, to an extent, you understand what I'm saying about the African man wanting to be in charge of, especially the family purse. So as a woman, how do you handle that? Even though you know that he is not a prudent spender.
Well, this is what I say. I would say you have to know your spouse, and you have to be able to identify their strengths and their weaknesses. Because when you communicate with each other, you will know a man that loves you and a woman that loves a man. Our goal is our optimal goal is to reach a sorry, I need to say okay, that's not okay. Our aim is to reach an optimal goal. So when you communicate with your husband, you know that, okay, for example, he, as you said, he spends anyhow, you know, and I spend prudently. You will need someone that is disciplined and responsible, and that will be after. I don't know how we are going to get. You will disagree till you agree. You will have to disagree till you agree on this. You know, because marriage is not, you know, it's not a bed of roses. You have to communicate, and nothing is perfect in marriage. There is a way we have to get to a compromise, and we'll reach a goal. Because at the end of the day, you don't want a situation whereby all the money in the account is
when you needed money.
It's gone. So I will start from scratch, zero, and nobody wants to be a poor person. So we have to get a decision, reach a decision or an alignment towards this goal.
Okay, Delapo, let me come back to you about that as well. If you are married to someone that insists on being the handler of the family purse, even though they are not prudent spender, as a woman, how do you deal with that?
You are married a spender. You will be spending the money on the family, right? I will get a little savings, and I will be collecting and be putting it there. You know, it's not everything that we have to argue over. Somebody like me, I will just allow you to spend. And if I know I can handle money better, what I'll just do is to have a bucket of savings at different levels where I keep money so that we should always have. I'm sure that at the end of the day, it's going to be great to that, okay, this money is somewhere here.
Yeah, so invariably, wisdom is profitable to direct.
Yes. And also, I just wanted to add on that, to piggyback what she said. You know, that's why we have this personal accounts. So when you know he has an impulse spending, maybe you can allocate some amount of money into his personal accounts that you know that you have this budget that you can spend for the month, and that's it. Okay. But this money we have towards savings, and nobody touches this and nobody touches that. Then the next month, you know, we keep on doing it till he calls.
Because are you the only one that will be putting money in that personal accounts?
No, we both have to agree to put the money, because after you've done your joint accounts, your budgets, there will have to be some money that you'll be left aside for personal use, so that he can splurge whatever he wants to do. But we have to be focused
on what you're doing.
Yes.
Okay, thank you so much, Yetunde. So I'm going to Dalapo, let me come back to you about this having your own personal accounts, I know you as an advocate of women having side hustle, of doing more, of being entrepreneur, of getting something to do. Now, will it not be frustrating and annoying when you do multiple things and get multiple streams of income, and then someone else keeps spending it?
Well, it depends on the dynamics of your home. Sincerely, that is why it's very important that when you are choosing the life partner, you choose somebody that is your ride and die. Like I said, I started working and making money early in life, and I really do not care if I like you, if I love you, I can spend on you. Now, if the kind of person I am, I have a lot of businesses that I do on the side. I have a list of things that I want to do with money. Even when I was working in the bank, and you know how much we earn in the bank those days, you are like a mini Dangote when you are a banker. You are going crazy.
Yeah.
So, but it wasn't really hard for me to say this is my family, and I didn't have any issues doing things for the home. Then, so it depends on who you marry. Because one thing I know is the day I take my husband's ATM card or his debit card and I swipe, it gives me a level of joy that I can't expect. So some people will just be like, what gives you joy? It is swiping his card.
Oh my goodness.
You're swiping his card, seriously. I noticed it that when I swipe his card, it gives me some level of high that I can't explain. So,
since it's not your money.
Time his card is in my hand.
It's not your money.
Did she say a level of high?
You don't understand.
Yeah. That can happen to everybody. That happens to everyone once you are spending the money. The money is not your money. You didn't work for it. So of course it's going to give you a certain kind of high. Yeah. That's why back home in Nigeria they will tell you no matter the amount you give a Nigerian woman, they will still go and take from the pocket. So I guess that's part of the eye that we get as women. It gives you a certain kind of pride. I can understand what she's saying. It gives you a certain kind of pride to just like take your husband's card and just and knock yourself out
on a shopping spree.
Just knock yourself out, swipe and keep swiping. And keep swiping. All right, so I'm going to go back to something that you both mentioned about knowing all these things before marriage. So this actually, I think this aspect is about the singles. Do you talk about money before marriage? Do you talk about money?
Absolutely.
The time once you start mentioning money in Nigeria, you're in the courtship and you start mentioning money, they're like, this one is coming for just money.
Well, that's the way some people see it. But if you can, and a husband and a wife or a partner or a boyfriend or girlfriend, when you're dating, you get to know things you like about each other, don't you? So you can as well, you want to know about all the financial baggages he's going to be coming with when you guys get married. Does he have bad credit scores, or is he in debt? Or are there any encumbrances that he's coming
that can come up
because it helps set a base and also helps to manage the whole expectation in the relationship. So you have to. I think it's really important to be able to discuss about this before you get married. Okay.
So Dalapo, let me also direct that question back to you. Talking about marriage, talking about money as a single person, as someone in a relationship, you to an extent back home, once you start talking about money, the man's antenna is up. It's like, why are you just talking about money? Is that all you're coming into this relationship for? So,
Well,
do you think?
sorry, I would say you don't just start like with
No,
money.
of course. No, you're not starting with money. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter when you bring money up in Nigeria. As a woman, it really doesn't matter when you bring money up. Once you start talking about money, it's like that's all she wants. That's all she can think. Especially if you are dating someone that is extremely comfortable financially. Once you start talking about, okay, let's budget, let's talk about how much will you be giving me at the end of the month, how much will you be putting in the joint account, the man's antenna is up and they're like, is that all this person is here for? So Delapa, I want you to say something about that when it comes to discussing money as a single person with your partner. Should you do that?
Absolutely, you should discuss money. If you are going to discuss where you are going to live, you are going to discuss how many children you are going to have. We are going to discuss other things that are pertain to your relationship. Then, by all means, you should discuss money. But because of our cultural uniqueness, the way we view money, there should be some ways that you will discuss it that do not make you look like, oh, this one is coming and I hide it just on my bank balance.
Yeah.
There's a way you talk about it. For instance, if you are dating someone and you ask to laugh, so how many children do you think we should have? And the guy says, my father had 4, 2 boys, 2 girls. And then you need to tell him, okay, if you are going to have 4 children, where do you want us to have them? If you are going to have your children abroad and you live in Nigeria, you have to start saving for the birth. And then you can just introduce the issue of money. Let's have some accounts for the children and stuff like that. In your mind, you know you don't want more than 2 kids anyway. But don't that money for children. You have to have this, you have to have that. Where do we want to stay? I remember when I wanted to get married, I just came into Lagos. I was very green. And I told my husband to be that, let's go and get a house in Alagbole. Let's just go back to the city now. Because when I came to Lagos, that was where I lived. That was the only area in Lagos that I know. So he said, if you are going to live in Alagbole, let's just go back to the city now, so that we can know that we are not living in Lagos, but living in the village. Then, but if you are going to live in that area, the rent in that area is lower than when you want to live somewhere in Norfa or somewhere in Chile or even on the island. With talking like that, if you are going to live in Surulere, if you are going to live in Lekki or Ikoyi, let's talk about money. So it's not like you just come and say, how much are you earning? How much do you want to be giving me every month? The guy will just be like, what's wrong with this one? So you need to come in and discuss it in such a way that the guy will know this one is planning my future with me. And these days, most guys appreciate that. A woman who wants him to be better, a woman who wants him to make money and spend it wisely. There's nobody that wants to live in poverty. These days people will just pray, poverty, die. Because poverty is really, nobody wants to live in poverty. So it is very important that you discuss money before you get married. It's really, really key. It's one of the key things that you need to discuss. As much as you will discuss sex, you should discuss money. So that's it.
All right, thank you so much, Dalapo. That was a very good one. So again, wisdom is profitable to direct. When you want to talk about money as a single person, you need to apply wisdom, and don't just go and say you collect $5,000 at the end of this month. So how much are you going to be giving me as your wife? You need to be taking care of me. I've seen that severally, that ladies will just be like, if you can't take care of me, don't talk to me. And if I tell you I need to buy this thing, you need to give me that amount of money. So invariably, we need to apply wisdom to everything we do, especially when it comes to the matter of money. Yes. So Yetunde, let me come back to you. We mentioned budgeting.
Yes.
I want you to get a bit personal with us. How do you budget as a family?
Well, in my family, we always set goals at the beginning of the year.
Okay.
Sometimes it might sound cliche, but it's very, I recommend
it's working for you.
It works for us. So at the beginning of the year, we have a budget of what we want towards the end of the year. So we set money aside for that. And then we also have money to be able to, to splurge, but it has to be
Miscellaneous.
Miscellaneous, all those personal expenses, things that we want. So that gives us a set goals, and we don't just go and dip into different finances, except if there are some unseen circumstances that happen that we cannot control. But that's how we normally do it. But for me, I have my personal account, and we also have a joint account, so everybody is fine, we're okay. And marriage,
you can buy your top as a woman, you can buy your shoe.
I can do whatever.
Okay, thank you so much. Let me come back to you with that also, Dalapo.
Okay. So it's also very important that you have a budget as a family. At the earlier stage, you could actually have, like she said, annual goals. But with the realities of Ghana these days, you may want to reduce the length of your goals and say, okay, this is my 3-month goal, this is my 6-month goal. And then you have everything running concurrently. For instance, this year your children will be going into high school. At the beginning of the year, you start planning towards that. And you already know. Like somebody says, a pregnancy is 9 months. You don't wait until the end of the 9 months before you start saying, I want to pay hospital bill. If you are going for elective CS, you already know you have to start saving towards it. So there are some emergency stuff that happens, and that's why in finance they advise that you have an emergency fund account where you put some kind of money in every month, and then you have it easily accessible to you. But beyond the emergency fund, there are some recurrent expenses in the home that every month it will come. Like in Nigeria, we know you have to buy fuel in your generator, you have to fill your gas, you have to do some other things. You don't need to wait until the gas has finished and then you now say, I should have filled this gas at this particular time. So those little things, you have to budget for them. And one way to do that also is there's this there are a lot of expense tracking applications online that you can download on your phone that you can use. But the easiest one that everybody can use is the Excel sheet.
Excel, yes.
If you have an Excel sheet, you have a spreadsheet, just keep plugging it in. Like by the time you do it for 3 months, you will know what comes up every month in your home. You know those things that you are like your recurrent expenses. And then you are not surprised that I've spent 20,000 on a particular expense that you think it is small. So it's important that we budgeting is.
And also you can make adjustments. I just wanted to add that too, because she mentioned about short terms. Even though you have your long terms, you also have short terms. So, and also even in the short terms and long terms, there are adjustments that will come up. Maybe some miscellaneous things or unseen things. So you quickly have to adjust and see how that can fit into the plan. And using the Excel is also a very good
idea.
It's a good idea because sometimes we have fixed expenses and we also have variable expenses. Some expenses might not recur every month, but some fixed, and we know that it's going to be happening every month. So by the time you put that on Excel, which it's fairly always good, because by the time you type and put plus, it generates to you. So once you always have a template, and you can copy that template into another spreadsheet, and that should work for you as a family.
All right, thank you guys so much. I think it's time for us to all to go on a short break because our legs need to be stretched. So we'll be back very soon.
Okay.
Back to the show. So we've talked a lot today about money in relation to the family. How if we should budget as a family, if you could keep joint account and still have separate accounts. We've discussed a lot about money management, and so the last thing I want us to talk about as Christians, as a Christian family, is tithes. Right from a young age, I know tithes to be the 10% of your income, as in what you earn as a person personally. Now, as a family that only have a joint account, how do you pay your tithes?
Well, you pay your tithes based on the accumulation of your income, of both incomes. 10% of, if for example, if the husband is bringing 50,000 and the wife is bringing 40,000, combined together is 90,000. So you pay 10% of that
as a family, not
as a family,
individually. Okay.
As a family, or better still, each individual can pay
out their tithe.
Can pay their tithes as long as your tithes is being paid. That's what matters.
Okay.
So I don't think it should be like a cohesive, but at the same time, as long as both spouses are paying their tithes, that's what really matters to me.
Okay. Darako, let me ask you this, because you're married to a pastor, so your tithe is a personal thing, something you do. I might be wrong, but that's what I know a tithe to be. It should be a personal thing, like
It is.
yes, this is my income, this is what I'm paying. So now, as a family that has a joint account, that practically once you are being paid at the end of the month, your money is going straight to that joint account. So how do you pay your tithe? Is that still a tithe? Since it's not like I'm personally paying, I'm not pay. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying.
Okay, explain.
Okay, like personal income, 10%. You get it, right? Like 10% of my personal income. It
has to be 10% of your personal income. As I said, if it's 50,000, for example, the man is bringing in, so it's 10% of his 50,000. And if a woman is bringing 40,000, 10% of her 40,000, then you combine both together and put in the envelope and you pay to church.
Okay, Darako, can you explain? True. Do you understand?
Yes, I get it, and that is true. The tithe is the 10% of your income, and as a family, if you are going to tithe as a family, you tithe 10% of every income that comes into your hand. If you are in paid employment, for instance, you already know how much your salary is, so it's easy for you to calculate the 10% and then pay it. But if you're in business, it's a little bit trickier, okay, in the sense that you are looking at, okay, in the month, probably in the month of July, you did this and this and this, you sold this and this and this, and then you have a calculation on what your profit was on those businesses that you did. Now you remove the 10% and you pay. However, what works practically for me is that even in the home, my husband is very high on paying tithes and not owing God. So even when you are giving a gift, he removes the 10%. Before you start planning how you are going to spend the money, he has removed the 10% already. It's non-negotiable. Can you hear me?
We lost you for a minute there, so we really did not get what you were saying there. If you could just repeat it.
Oh, okay. What I was saying is that if you are in paid employment, you already know what your 10% is, and you remove and you pay. That doesn't go into the family's purse. But if you are in business, you have to have a system of calculating your 10%. So you take off your profits, and then 10% of your profits you pay. However, when we're talking about money coming into the family, probably somebody gives you a gift. We get that a lot in my home. Somebody gives you a gift, you went to do naming ceremony or something, and then they pay you some kind of money. You already know that 10% of it is out. So, and I was saying that my husband doesn't joke with those kind of things. He will remove it. It's a gift anyway. So he removes it and then he pays. But if I do business and I sell, it is my personal responsibility to pay my tithes. And then when he does his own job and he gets his money, it is his personal responsibility to pay his tithes. So we don't have what we're probably like a joint tithing thing in the home. But if we have a business together, we already know 10% of it goes to God. And sometimes these days, people even pay more than 10%, depending on your vow to God and what you really want to do.
All right, thank you so much.
I also want to say that even beyond tithing now, as a family, when you're talking about giving to people, it is important that we also have an agreement on giving, how much you give and to who you give it to. Because sometimes when it comes to family members coming and say, "Oh, it's my brother, it's my sister," and then they come around and say, "Okay, we need 50,000, we need 20,000." It's important that as a family you already have your plans for your, what do you call it now? Is it charity now, or
Your charity
act of
contributions.
kindness? So that somebody does not start. Yes, somebody doesn't start just spending and say, "Hey, I gave it to my family, I gave it to this person in need." Especially during this COVID-19 period, people were doing a lot of charities, and it's important that there is an agreement in the family that who is giving who, and what are you giving, and from where are you giving it from. So once that agreement is there, everything will move seamlessly. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Alapa. You want to chip in something?
No, that's
Okay.
really well loaded.
All right. So we are gradually coming to the end of today's episode, and we've learned a lot about money management in the family, about tithing, about budgeting. The fact is, because you're Christian, you're actually expected to budget more, because we are expected to do more as children of God, as a child of God. So I've had a conversation where people feel like budgeting is actually not biblical. I don't want to put anybody in the spot, but Dolapo, I've had a conversation. I've had someone actually say budgeting is not biblical. Is that true? Oh goodness.
Hello? Who is he that wants to build? Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Who is he that wants to build? That does not sit down first and count the cost to see if what he has is enough to build. So whoever is saying budgeting is not biblical must have Bible. Budgeting is very biblical. Even though the Bible says, "Do not worry about what to eat, what to wear, put upon your feet, believe in God." But it's still the same Bible that says you should plan, you should do this costing, and that's, you should look at the cost and the cost. You do a cost benefit analysis of what you're going into before you go into it. Because after all, the Bible says that if you put your hand on the plow and look back, you are not fit for the keep out eternity here. It's talking about whatever I think you want to do, you should analyze it very well. So budgeting is highly spiritual and scriptural.
Yeah, all right. Thank you so much. Yeah, we are so grateful to both of you for sharing your experiences with us. And I'm just going to come to you, Yetunde. Do you have any final thoughts that you want to give up?
Well, I would love to say, in finances, we should all keep in mind that marriage is different from everybody. So whatever you do in your home is totally different from another person. So try to make sure that you walk your home based on the needs and the wants
the dynamics
of your family. So don't try to see what's going on in family A and you want to invent that in family B. That might not necessarily work for you. And definitely, as we know, we need allocation, we need to budget, we need to plan, because all those things are necessary. Even in life, you have to plan. So the Bible says faith without work is dead. Even though we are working, part of working, those are the necessary steps that we need to do in order to achieve where we want to be in life. Even when God created, the heavens and earth, all those 7 days, He planned. Everything was set with time. So I encourage everyone to always have a mindset of planning and also making things work out according to God's plan. And we shouldn't forget that in everything we need to pray to God, because God is the ultimate source of everything. So, but don't neglect your work.
Common sense.
The common sense. Exactly. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much. Dara, for your final thoughts.
Okay. Family finances is very important. Many homes are broken because of money issues. And it is important that as women, we learn how to manage money and live. Generally, you live. It's not just amassing money and then not living life to the full. This year, 2020, has taught us that You just have to live, not just merely exist. And if you're in the family unit, you need to understand that you and your spouse have that responsibility to yourself, and then to your children, and then to the larger society, to be better managers of money. So it is important for us to manage our finances. And like yesterday said, don't compare yourself with your neighbor, with your friends. Don't stop trying to keep up with the Joneses. You need to be able to define what works for your home and to work with that. And I believe that, with God on your side, every one of us will achieve our goals, our money goals. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you so much. So, my friends, my family, my everybody that's used to this show, I always take something out of each episode for my own personal self, and I hope you guys are doing the same as well. For today, my own take home is budget. You have to budget. And I think that's like one of the central thing that is not peculiar to a particular family. You have to budget, you have to save, and then you have to apply wisdom when it comes to money management. Wisdom in the sense that I am a spender. He is a prudent spender, doesn't spend anyhow. You should manage the purse, you should manage the finances. Wisdom is profitable in all we do. So that is it for us today. I want to thank our guests. Thank you, Yetunde, so much for coming.
Thank you.
We really enjoyed our session with you today. Thank you, Dalapo, for coming. And we hope to see you soon when we come to call you.
Thank you.
We hope you'll come once again when we call.
Absolutely.
That is it for today's show. We know the aim of this show is to help families, and I know a lot of us might have questions that you might want us to deal with. You might want us to try to give you answers. I'm not promising that we have the perfect answers, but all we can do is just try. And so if you have any questions, you can send us an email. You can email us at realtalk@glimpseextra.com. Once again, it's realtalk@glimpseextra.com. You can actually also subscribe to our channel on YouTube, and you can also like our page. You can like us on Facebook. We're on Facebook, we're on Instagram. Glimpse Extra is everywhere. So we'll appreciate if you just give us a thumbs up so we know we are at least doing something right. So until next time when I come your way, I still remain your girl, I remain your daughter, I remain your friend, I remain your fellow woman, Odun Akirele. And this is Glimpse Extra. See you next time.